Hello, my dear students. Hope everyone is doing well. Ayan's online classes is back to you with a new session for your subject social science. Today we will be seeing a lecture on economics, its first chapter, that is development. Let's see what is the content, what we are going to see. Now, the objective of the today's session. Firstly, we will be learning what development promises, what exactly we are expecting from development and what it is supposed to provide us. Then the different people and different goal. The concept of different people and different goal that we are going to see. Then what is income and other goals. Then what exactly the term national development means. Then how we are going to compare different countries or states. That is what will be the valid basis for the comparison in between two different countries or states you can see. Then let's start with the first point of our concept, that is different people and different goal. Children, let's take an example of family. In a particular family, there stays persons with different age group, then different thoughts, then different lifestyle. So when there are few peoples, there are limited people in the family, but then too there is a difference in the lifestyle, in the thought process, you can say in the demands. And if in a small family we can see this much of variation, then you can imagine in a particular country how much variation in every aspect we can get. So what is this title suggesting us? That in a particular country, as per the population, the demand or the goal of an individual will go on differing. That is what it is. Different people will be having different goals. For example, a person who is earning enough to take care of his family. Now he is expecting that he is capable of feeding his family. Now his next expectation will be like he should go for buying a house. Then suppose let's take a developed family where the family head is capable enough of earning, already he has a house. Then his next expectation will be like he will be in a need of a car in order to add a luxury. But if you come a bit down, the poor part of the country or the poor class of the country, so for them the basic need is, or the basic goal for their life is just to get their food. That is, even the entire day's target will be they should earn this much that at the end of the day they will be able to provide the food to their family. Then the next demand for them will be after providing food, they are capable of survival. But in order to get a future life secure, the must thing for them is they should be capable of providing education to their children. So this is what this is implying us that different people will be having different goals. Then let's see what exactly development is. Now, so far the chapter's title is, or the name of the chapter is development. But what exactly this development means? What exactly it is? Like in the beginning or in the introduction part we saw, the goal of development is different for different person. So everyone will be having a different definition of development. So let's see what actually it is. Development is a comprehensive term. That is, it is not limited. It is a wide term which includes increase in real capita income, improvement in standard of living, then of people, then reduction in poverty, illiteracy, etc. This all is termed under being developed. Okay. So now see, as I said, development is a comprehensive term. Here you are not going to deal with a single factor that may be of your income. Here you will be dealing with various aspects like the education, that is the literacy rate, then the standard of living of the people, how many high society people are there, how many of us go for the use of high technology, or the parameters which define the standard of living, then there should be a reduction in poverty. So what are these aspects? This is nothing but this is the development of that particular nation. So not only income, but even the literacy rate, then the standard of living, or the increase in the income. This all factors are telling us, or they are guiding us towards what exactly the development is. Now after seeing development, let's move forward. Now what development would mean for different people? Like we started with the tagline, different people, different goal. So let's see what exactly it is. Now see, firstly we will categorize the things. First one is telling us the category of a person and what would be his development goal. Now let's take a landless rural laborer. Okay, now a person is not having his land where he can go and eat something. Okay, he is landless. So what will be his intention or his goal? That he should get more days of work at better wages. Like his only goal will be like he should get more work in a month. There should be days like this. People work on daily wages, like for a single day, for working on a single day they get paid. So what will be his intention? That he should get maximum working days, so that at the end of the month he will be paid more, and the per day wages whatever he is getting, that should be more. Okay, so he is expecting that the daily wages should be more. Then this is regarding the landless rural laborer. Now let's see what is the second category, the prosperous farmers from Punjab. Okay, now see what he is expecting, that he is expecting assured a family income, then higher support prices for their crops. Now see, he is a prosperous farmer, so he would be able to give an assured family income. As he is having a farm, he will be having a good yield, and if he is having a good yield, he can provide his family a good handsome income. Then next, what his expectation will be, that he should get the support for getting higher prices for his crops, so that he can add upon into his income. Then next category of person is the farmer. The farmer who depends only on rain for growing crops. Now what exactly this means? Now there are certain farmers who are having wells into their farms, but here the category of farmer which is taken is he is depending only on rain for growing his crops. Means only the rainwater is being used for the cultivation of crops. Now that farmer he is. So what he will be demanding for, or what will be his ultimate goal, that he is expecting for better irrigation facilities, so that he would be able to carry out the yield, or to grow or to cultivate the farm throughout the year. As like he is depending only on rain, here he is capable of growing the or yielding the crops only in the only in the rainy months. But if he gets the better irrigation facilities, he will be able to grow the crop year long. Okay, so his expectation is he should get the better irrigation facilities. Then urban unemployed youth, this is the most common thing which we observe in today's generation, that there are many unemployed youngsters in the urban area who are educated enough, who are graduated, but still they are left unemployed. So what a person, or what a youngster who is graduated and he is still unemployed, what will be his ultimate goal? He is expecting a secured employment. What he feels like is he should get a secure job where he can imply the education which he has taken, and in return of it he should get some money through which he can satisfy his needs. So that is the simple expectation of an unemployed urban youth. Then see, let's look at the next category. Here we have a girl from a rich urban family. So what will be her expectations? Now see, she gets as much freedom as her brother is able to decide what she wants to do in her life. Okay, now see, if you consider a girl, okay, from a urban rich family, now she is expecting that she should get the freedom as her brother gets, and she should be set free. Okay, what she feels like when she will get developed if she is getting a right which is equal, exactly equal to the rights which her brother gets, and then she would be able to live her life freely. So that is her demand of development, or that is her goal of development. So here we satisfy or we justify our statement, different people, different goals. Now see, what did we conclude? Now after seeing the process of development and how it is differing, what we can conclude here? Now see, different persons can have different developmental goals. Exactly, as the person differs, his goal of development is also going to differ. As like for a unemployed youth, his goal was to get a secure job. For a farmer who is depending on rain, his goal was to get a proper irrigation. So what is this? As the range of person differs, or as the category of a person differs, his expectation or his way of thinking towards development is going to differ. Then secondly, people can even have conflicting goals. Now see, one person's goal may be hindering to the other person's goal. Okay, like it may create a hurdle. Let's take an example of the construction of roads. Like whenever you are thinking of to expand the highways or to enlarge the highways, what is happening? The Yeah, there is a development. You are turning out the two-way road by using the multi lanes, or you are expanding it to provide many lanes in order to cover the distance in less time, so that to avoid the mess of traffic, you are trying to get a highway with many lanes, multi lanes. So what is happening here? You are capturing the land of the farmers beside the road or highway, existing highway. So there is a development. There is a development that communication will be easy. Like the travel time will be decreased, communication will be increasing, travel time will be reduced. Okay, so that is what travel time is reduced means, what that you will be reaching the particular place in less time. So what is now the issue? But to increase the length or to increase the broadness of the highway, what you did is you accumulated the farmer's land, and yeah, in return you are giving him a compensation, but definitely that is not going to compensate him for his entire life. Whatever money he is getting in return of the land which he had submitted to the highway, government will be paying the fellow, but that amount is not sufficient for his lifelong survival. So see, development in means of travel time you did, you got the less travel time, you are developing the means of communication, that is a development. But that development is creating a hurdle into the another person's life, that is the farmer's life, as his land is going to be submitted to the government. So see, in this way people can even have the conflicting goal. So then let's come to the another point. Let's talk about income and other goals. Like firstly, we can categorize this income and goals. Like there can be materialistic goals and there can be non-materialistic goals. Okay, like what are the materialistic goals? That you need income, you need money, you need salary. Okay, so this is what, like I want a proper income. If there is a like businessman or like any individual who is working, so what are their income, their goals, that ultimate whatever task they are doing, they should get money out of it. Okay, that money can be termed as income or that money can be termed as salary, but their ultimate goal is like materialistic goal is like you want luxury. Why you are needing these all things? To add upon luxury. Sometimes it may be to fulfill your basic needs, sometimes it may be to add the comfort, and many a times it is in order to add the luxury. Okay, so we are needing these three parameters. Just these are the materialistic goals. Now let's talk about the non-materialistic goal. Along with needing money, is there a person who will say that no, if I get money I won't need respect? Or no, definitely along with money a person is expecting respect, Equal treatment in the society, as well the safety and education. Whenever like safety, respect is what there should be. Wherever you are working, you should be treated with respect. Wherever you are moving along, you should be treated with respect. If you are staying in a family, if you are a girl, you should be treated equally with your brother. If you are working in a company, okay, there should be an equal treatment to each and every employee. There should be no factors such as nepotism. Okay, then safety, like road accidents are there. There are the many measures which are taken by the government to avoid the accidents. So who is providing safety? If you are like patient, okay, you should be provided with the insurance so that you feel secure. Whatever happens, my insurance money is there so that I can get treated. Then education is the thing which is making you capable to survive. He is making your life superior, you can say. Okay, so these are the non-materialistic goal, but they are again depending on each other. Okay, so these are the income and other goals which we saw. Now let's come back to the point national development. We saw the term development. Now that was a general one. But what exactly is this national development? That let's have a glance. Now see, it refers to the ability of a nation to improve the lives of citizens. It can be in the field of agriculture, industries, education, health, etc. Now see, what exactly national development is. It refers to the capability of the nation, that it depends on the efforts taken by the nation in order to increase the standard of living of the citizens. It is concerned about the efforts taken by the government, national government, to make the life of citizens with comfortable, with ease. What efforts it is taking to raise the standard of living. Okay, and to raise the standard of living, it is not concerned with a particular field. It is regarding an overall development. It may be regarding the farmers, that is regarding the agriculture. It may be related to the entrepreneurs and the workers working into the industries. Like it may be in the field of education, that is for the teachers and the students. Then it may be regarding the health. So national development is a overall development, children. Then how are we going to compare different countries or states? Now how exactly the comparison is being done? Like we always say, na, America is a developed nation, while the many of the African countries are the underdeveloped countries. So what exactly, on what basis are we comparing them? Now countries are classified on the basis of income, like how much is the annual income of an particular country. That decides that which country is a developed one or which one is the underdeveloped. Now, what is a country's income? Is country a fellow person who is going on job or earning, or is country a businessman who is doing certain business and bringing money? No. Your country's income is related to the income which is earned by the entire population. It is not, country is not a particular person. It is exactly dealing with an individual's income, you can see. Each and every person's income in a nation will be considered while calculating the country's net income. Okay, like a farmer, whatever he might be earning, a big businessman, what he is earning. So even a job, private jobs, who is doing, a person who is doing a job in a private sector, even his salary is going to matter. So by considering all the factors of the nation, each and every parameter which is included in earning, that all is going to be summed up, and that will decide what the country's income is. See, country's income is calculated by the total income of all the people who are earning. As I said, each and every sector is covered. It might be a labor, it might be a farmer, a teacher, a person who is working in a private sector, a medical representative, a doctor, a big businessman, whoever it might be. The person who is earning is donating or is considered while considering the national income or a country's income. Then see, Now, who is giving us the title? As like I said, America is considered to be the developed nation. Then many of the African countries are underdeveloped. Then who is giving us these titles? Then there comes, let's talk about, we took an example of like America, we took an example of the African countries. Let's talk about our own country. Now, let's talk about India. Now, where does it fall? Whether it is a developed one or whether it is an underdeveloped. So, exactly talking about India is a developing country. It is still in the process of development. So, India neither it falls into the underdeveloped countries nor it falls into the developed countries. It is still in the process of development. So, we are terming India as a developing nation. So it is still on its process to get developed. Now, after deciding this all things, but exactly who does it? So let's talk about World Bank gives the classification of countries on the basis of average income or per capita income. As like we said, annual income of each country is considered. Now, who is considering and giving us the ranking? So, the person or the organization which it does is the World Bank. Okay, World Bank is giving the title of being developed, underdeveloped, or developing. This all titles are provided by the World Bank, and how the bank is providing us the titles, it is based on the average income, or you can say the per capita income. Now it will be calculated based on the money earned per person in a specific area of a certain year. Now how you are going to calculate the per capita income? It will be calculated based on money which is earned by a single person in a specific area for a specific year. So that is going to give you the per capita income, and the formula for per capita income of a country is total income of the country, which is like after adding up even a small amount earned by the farmer to the like not students we can consider, to the businessmen, to the employees, okay, labor. So all this earning when you add upon, that will give you the total income of the country. And what is per capita income? Total income of the country divided by the total population of that particular country. So that will give you the per capita income, and on which basis we are getting the ranking by the World Bank. Then, on the basis of development, countries are classified into, how they are classified. See, as I said, developed country, underdeveloped country, and the developing country. As like already we have seen, developed country is, you can take an example of United States. Underdeveloped are many African countries you can take, those are underdeveloped, and developing is our own nation, that is India. Okay, so based on the per capita income, if a country is having enough of per capita income, that will be termed as a developed country. If it is having less income as compared to the requirement of the people, if it is having a less income, then it will be termed as a underdeveloped country. And when you are on the merge, like when you are keeping a proper balance in between fulfilling the needs and struggling for fulfilling the needs, that is nothing but a developing country. And where our beloved nation falls, that India is a developing country. Then World Bank Development Report. Now children, just now we saw who is giving us the titles. The World Bank is giving us the title of being developed, underdeveloped, developing. Now what are the positive and negative sides? Let's talk about. Now the firstly, we will talk about the positive thing what we are getting from the World Bank Development Report. It is giving us a clear understanding of income of the country. For that particular year, you will be able to understand that what was the income of that particular nation. Then let's talk about the negative point. It considers only income and not other aspects such as literacy, health, life, life expectancy, etc. Now see children, as like when we started, development was termed as a comprehensive term where along with income, other factors were playing an important role, where we had literacy, where we have mortality rate and all. So what is this? That was a comprehensive term. Development is a comprehensive term. But when we are getting the titles from the World Bank, that is merely based on the income and no other factor is being considered. Okay. So this is a negative point for a World Bank report, I must say. Then it sets specific parameters of comparison such as national income and per capita income. But anyways, it's it sets a standard so that you can compare the income of the countries, and like that is being helpful to classify. Okay, on certain basis it is providing you the classification of the country, so that is a plus point. Now see, let's see the negative point now. Only tells about income and not how it is distributed among the citizens. Okay, like when you calculate the annual income, suppose it is 100%. Okay, like I said, it was regarding the farmers, the laborers, the businessmen, then you can take the entrepreneurs. Okay, there are many factors who are adding this 100%. Okay, but how much has each fellow contributed? How much the farmer has contributed? How much the labor has contributed? How much an employee or entrepreneur has done? Or how much a businessman has done? That individual participation is not mentioned. That is a negative point. Overall, okay, you can comment that it is a developed nation or underdeveloped nation, but exactly which factor of the society is underdeveloped or which factor is developed, that cannot be discriminated from the World Bank development report. Now, after seeing the interesting session, children, I have explained you what is development, how it is differing from person to person, and what are the parameters which need to be considered for treating a country as developed or underdeveloped. Everything we have seen. Now this will be a let's recall part. What did we learn and how exactly did you understand the session? Just if you answer the question, this will be a feedback to us that you have got it very nicely. Now, India falls in which category? Whether it is a developed country or developing country, or it is a underdeveloped country. That you can tell us into the comment section. This will that whether you people are getting the lecture, you are understanding it or no. So you will be commenting into the comment section that India falls in which category. Team Ayanch looks forward to have you on board. Please visit our website ayanchonlineclasses.com for detailed information. Kindly like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you have loved today's session, don't forget to like, share and subscribe our YouTube Ayanch Online Classes. If you are having any query or suggestion, feel free to drop it into the comment section. Thank you.